That was ice. Our fridge is running a bit cold right now.
Inadvertently, coffee has become a big part of my life.
In this Wolseley neighborhood spot, Bill Fugler is learning just as much from his coffee these days as his books.
It's like a small way of traveling. You can travel through flavors, you can travel through experiences, you can, so being able to taste something totally new is actually quite a thrilling experience.
So when you bring it in, you're going to slurp it into your mouth and then bring it back and almost gargle it a bit towards the back of the tongue. Let it sit, and then you can sip it if you want.
Today we are doing a trial cupping. So cupping is the term for professional coffee tasting.
Trevor Westwood is helping the folks at Trade Manitoba and Manitoba Council for International Cooperation get ready for their 30-day challenge. The wind-up will be held at Fugler's neighborhood cafe and bookstore.
We call it a challenge, but really it's not that hard. All we're asking people to do is to go fair trade with their coffee, tea, and chocolate for those 30 days.
Adding an element of professional tasting is part of getting people to think differently about that ordinary cup of joe, starting with color. Like wine, color indicates density or body, but not necessarily taste. Then you need to smell it, slurp it, and wait for the sensation that follows, which for the tea drinkers in the room isn't necessarily that enjoyable.
The last thing you want to look for after the taste at the back is what's the sensation on the top of your tongue. Is it heavy, bold? Is it light? Is it acidic? Right? What is that?
Then there is the added element of a French roast. The same coffee will be fuller and darker.
What are the undertones of the French roast? Is it earthy, smoky? Is it metallic? Is it rusty?
Maybe it's floral or citrusy, just as long as it's not sour.
If it's a bad coffee, you'll get sourness out of the side of your tongue. But what you get out of a good coffee is a tartness. A little bit of acidity on the top of the tongue, but you got some tartness around there.
For this group, another characteristic of their cup is fair trade.
This is core values, right? It's about doing the right thing.
But as people start caring more about quality, it may inadvertently begin to change an industry that is often more focused on efficiency over the environment and profit over fair wages and farming practices. In that way, the fair trade coffee that Fugler sells is just as much about taste and quality as anything else.
The nice thing about it is that people can actually start caring about the coffee and put more effort into making a good bean and being concerned about the roast instead of maximizing the yield for the greatest amount of profit.
Every year, Trade Manitoba puts out their 30-day challenge, hoping that people will pick up a new cup of coffee, maybe a new spot, but most importantly, a new habit. For Go Winnipeg, I'm Kim Kasher.